You know what impossible means? Don't even try it. Impossible can't happen. Impossible says, what are you, crazy? That's impossible. But not anymore. Not since the playoffs. Now impossible is just a starting point. Impossible is a negotiation. Impossible means Tom Brady, a second-string quarterback drafted in the 6th round, can catapult millions into euphoria. That's the magnitude of the playoffs. They've changed the English language. They've made impossible possible.
Hello, and welcome to Week 13's Fantasy League Report. I'm your commish, and as usual, reporting live from the TFL studios. I'd like to wish everybody and their family a happy Thanksgiving. You know, this is a good day to be thankful. You know what the commission's thankful for? The commission's thankful for the playoffs starting next week. That's what we're going to focus on for this week's report, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot of teams on the playoff push, a lot of teams on the bubble. We'll get into that. We'll update you on the weekly awards and who has won most of the awards, won the last couple weeks. We'll also talk about the season awards, and if you don't remember that, we'll get into that as well. As I said, the free agent money will also be talked about and discussed. The playoff picture, who's in, who's out, who's on the bubble. Week 13's very influential playoff matchups, and of course the TFL Power Rankings. We'll get into all that and more. You got the commissioner with you, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thanksgiving. I hope you're full from the turkey and all the trimmings. We'll be right back after these messages. It's the commish, TFL Studios.
The phrase average Joe was coined for a reason. Joe's the guy who wears a shirt that says Joe on it. Joe doesn't steal the girl. He's the guy you pal around with, but not since the playoffs. Now Joe's a bachelor from Alabama who changes everything. Joe's a guy who carries New York City on 2 bad knees and guarantees victory. Joe's not just a name, it's an idea. Fathers expect more from a kid named Joe. That's how big the playoffs are. They took the name Joe and made it Joe.
All right, we're back. Let's start with getting into the weekly awards. They should scroll by your screen here in the next few seconds. Take a look at them and we'll talk about them afterwards. Okay, you saw that the Architect did win Week 10, followed by EA Sports, and So Fucking Legit with their 3rd weekly prize, totaling $45, $15 per week. Of course, Week 13 will be another weekly prize this week. It'll be another $15. That will bring us, after this week's, that will bring us to the season awards, which I think one is already figured out. The season awards, if you haven't forgot, the commission hasn't touched base on that in a while. We've got an award for most overall points in this season, and that's $50. So far right now, we've got So Fucking Legit with 1,582 points, and You Got Moss with 1,444. Respect the first and second place teams as well. I think So Fucking Legit should have this wrapped up unless they score like 5 points and You Got Moss goes off for 200, which I don't think is going to happen. So that's a $50 winner, as well as a division winner. So Fucking Legit is also in the running for that at 8-4. You Got Moss at 8-4. The Rook at 7-5, and Cameron Crazy at 7-5. So if there's a tie in that division winner, obviously it goes to points forced, which So Fucking Legit has the tiebreaker on. So all they do is have to win, score normal points, and they'll get $100 in their pocket. That's from the TFL Studios and the commission to you. Next, let's talk about the free agent money. All right, we discussed that in Week 10. I'll update you. Scroll across the screen. I'll get into it a little bit more after it scrolls off. Take a look at it. Okay, the commission, of course, will finalize the free agent money dues after this week because free agents are still $2 until playoffs start. And as I told you before, there's free transactions when the playoffs start. But those totals will be updated, which will include your weekly winning prize money and anything else trades and all that. I'll come to a total, and the commission will either pay out or receive the money that's due to the league. All right, with that said, let's take another quick break. We'll take a word from these messages, and I'll be right back with the playoff picture, the matchups, and TFL Power Rankings. Of course, it's the commish, TFL Studios. We'll be back.
You know what 5 seconds is? It's 5 seconds. You can't do anything in 5 seconds. Change a light bulb, 2 minutes if you're flying. Put your shoes on, 39 seconds at best. But that was in the time, before the playoffs, before 5 seconds became an eternity. Aikman to Irvin, Warner to Bruce, 5 seconds. Now people care more about 5 seconds than their dogs. Giving somebody 5 seconds of your time makes you a better person. That's how big the playoffs are. They took 5 seconds and created 5 seconds.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. Playoffs are next week. This is the last week of the regular season, week 13. You know, let's start with the teams that are in. The good news is always good to start out with. So Fucking Legit, congratulations, you guys are in. You Got Moss, congratulations, you guys are in. The Rook, congratulations, you guys are in. Cameron Crazies, congratulations, you guys have submitted a spot in the playoffs. Don't quite know the seeds yet, but we know that you guys are definitely in. Now, teams on the bubble, meaning that they need to win, they need a win and some help. If they lose, they need some help. So these teams potentially are still in. Some are looking out on the way in, so we'll run through that. We'll say the Wildcats, America's team is on the bubble, as well as EA Sports, Niner Dynasty, the Architect, Dixie Wrecked, and the Beard are all in the playoffs. Now for the bad news for one specific team right now. Obviously, there's going to be 3 more spots filled, but I'm sorry, Team Jones, first year in the league, you just didn't pan up to it. I don't know what else to tell you. You're in the consolation bracket. There'll be definitely a vote for your entry into next year. You just didn't do enough. So can't touch upon that too much, but I will say the consolation bracket is $25 per entry. $100 to the grand prize winner. 4 teams, $25. So that's all I have to say about that. Next, we have week 13's critical matchups, starting with America's team versus EA Sports. Both teams are 6-6. Whoever wins does submit their spot in the playoffs. If any of them lose, they'll need some help, of course, from other teams. The main number you want to keep in your head is 8 losses. If any team has 8 losses, they're not in the playoffs. 7 losses is the key to getting in, obviously, with points force being the tiebreaker. So the 6-7 record, if you have enough points, will get you in the playoffs. Next matchup, we got the Beard at 5-7, Cameron Crazies 7-5. As I said, Cameron Crazies are just playing for a playoff seed. They're already in. However, the Beard needs to win and needs a lot of help in order to get in. He's unfortunately low on the points force, so he'll need to put up big numbers this week with a win in order to get into the playoffs. The next matchup, You Got Moss versus Dixie Wrecked. You Got Moss is in the playoffs. They're playing for the number 1 seed in the playoffs and a division winner, so big ups to You Got Moss. As well, Dixie Wrecked needs to win in order to get into the playoffs, along with a lot of help. So they're another one of those 5-7 teams that is low on the points forced that need to win and score a lot of points in order to get into the playoffs. The Rook sitting at 7-5 versus the Wildcats. Rook is 7-5, as I said, just playing for a playoff seed. They're already in. Wildcats are sitting at 6-6. And if they win, they will be in the playoffs. If they lose, they'll need some help from some of those other 5-7 teams to potentially not score a lot of points, or for them to have the tiebreaker for points forced. Next up, So Fucking Legit. Everyone knows they're 8-4 at the top of the league versus Team Jones, the worst team in the league, sitting at 4-8. So Fucking Legit playing for a division winner and number 1 seed, so they have a lot to play for this week. Team Jones playing spoiler, basically. And you're playing for seeding in the consolation bracket, but who cares about seeding in the consolation bracket? Now it's that time. The commission's GOW game of the week. This is basically a playoff game, ladies and gentlemen. It is a win and go home, win and you're in type of game. The atmosphere is just going to be crazy. We've got the Architect and Niner Dynasty, both sitting at 6-6. I'm sorry, 5-7. Both sitting at 5-7. One of them lose, they're out. One of them win, they're in. So this is a huge matchup with Monday night players on Niners Dynasty, I believe they have New Orleans kicker and New Orleans defense going against Seattle Monday night. So it looks like this will be determined on the last day of the regular season. It's going to be an interesting game to watch. As I said, win it equals a playoff burst. Lose and you're going to be thinking about it all off season. All right, with that said, let's talk about the power rankings brought to you by the TFL Studios. Here we go. 1, so fucking legit. 2, you got Moss. 3, the Rook. 4, the Wildcats. 5, America's Team. 6, Cameron Crazies. 7, Niner Dynasty. 8, The Architect. 9, EA Sports. 10, The Beard. 11, Dixie Wrecked. 12, Team Jones. Okay, you got the power rankings. In conclusion, I just want to again wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe out there. Don't eat too much turkey. Make sure you do the gym the next day. Get all that extra holiday weight off. I want to also let everyone know Packers and Lions early game on Thanksgiving. Make sure you got your Jordan Nelson in. Make sure you got your Megatron. Make sure you got your Reggie Bushes, your Matt Staffords in. Raiders versus Cowboys at the dinner time game. Romo's got to be in. Dez has to be in. DeMarco, of course, is in there. And then we have Steelers and Ravens. It's a late game. I can only think of Torrey Smith. Maybe you got Ben Roethlisberger starting. I don't know, maybe Antonio Brown. You got in there. It's the commish. This is the Week 13 report. I'll be talking to you guys in the offseason. It's been a wonderful season. I'd like to thank everybody who took part in the updates this year. TFL Studios. It's commish. Good luck.
Kevin Dyson reaches to the goal line. No!
What are Roman numerals? They're Roman. A bunch of X's, V's, and I's. Nobody even uses Roman numerals anymore except for prep school kids and crossword puzzles. But that was before the Super Bowl. Now Roman numerals have a pulse. Mike Jones, XXXIV, Montana, XVI, Bart Starr, I. Now everybody from Russia to Istanbul to Arkansas can count to 37 in Roman numerals. That's how big the Super Bowl is. It took Roman numerals and turned them into Roman numerals.